Hello, hello, Rhoda here. Welcome to my craft room. Today we're going to work on my little composition book I got. It's 100 pages, and I want to make it to where I can write my notes in it, keep track of what I've done each day, that kind of thing. Because my calendars just aren't doing it. Here's my calendars. This one I haven't even stamped yet. But I'd be doing that in here once I get this completed. But this is what I keep a record of. What I post each day, or what I accomplish each day, physically in making something, and that kind of stuff. And it's just not getting it. I got a lot more to write. So it's kind of like a planner, but I couldn't figure it out with what planners was available. Okay, this is my sneaky peek for right now. I haven't made it to the shop. She was closed the other day when I went down there. I guess it was one of the days that they don't open. Little did I know or think about that. Okay, so these are a large ticket. I will be linking this at the end for the video on this, how I made these two strips of tickets. They were inspired by Lorette Chandler, who made some on her channel, oh gosh, last year sometime. I've got some doily in here. These beautiful ladies. I mentioned who I got them from on Etsy. I did a little stamping, as you can see, along the edges. And I put a couple of stickers and a stamp and a few words. So the idea of these was you were to rip one off. You can actually fold them up, like I was showing you right there, where they're a ticket. Now, I took a pinking shear here, so it looks like it's a rip-off. And then along this edge in here, I did a dotted line. I have a stamp that's a dotted line. So I'll put that in there where it looks like that's a perforation. And then you can take a single one off and use it. It's kind of like what do you call those things? I can't think of it right now. It's some kind of a strip that you make, and you just keep adding things, and you rip off what you need and use into your journal. It's something similar to that. So you could have 3 solid pieces here, or one to go into a pocket. It's not too thick. But they're very cute. You can actually write on the back of them. That's the way I prepped mine. And so, yeah, I thought they turned out pretty cute. I love this background. This color is my colors, you know. So, they really spoke to me. All right, what we're doing today, like I said, is working on my composition book. We're going to just decorate the outside of it. I don't think we're really going to do much on the inside. I may do a little stamping to get my calendar started. And whatever I just showed you on my paper over there from my calendar, I'm going to put into here. Okay, this is an old paper pad, Sweet Ambrosia. I got it from Michael's. Recollections is theirs. I don't know if you can still find it out there, but there is the number in case you can get anything off of that. Yeah, it's just white on the back, so there's nothing really back there. It has some beautiful papers in it. I've gutted it over the years, and now all I've got is like this one and it has the glitter on it. There's a bird. There's 2 of those. I have a male one here, which I have up here. I was going to prep it for another thing to show you, so I may be recording that next. Here's a music page. I have 2 of those. And it's got like a glittery, I don't think you can see it, a glittery flower down there. It has a pretty bird here. I think I've used one of these for something. There's a strip, a section of strips you can use. Then you have like a map page back here. It was just some really, really gorgeous papers. And I know I used a pink one. I don't see it on here, but it was my very, very favorite. This was also a pretty one. But I used that pink little rosebud one on my background for my shabby chic here. You can just barely see it in there. But yeah, it's got a pink background and a little blush colored rose on there, and it's got glitter. And I just thought that was so gorgeous. And, oh, here's the other one that was in this kit. This one. You can see it right there. Those are my favorite ones. So they got put in here. This one, I'm not sure. I think that come from somewhere else. Yeah, I think that's somewhere else. But anyhow, yes, this is my shabby chic with my unique closure system with the buttons. Oh, gosh. Okay, anyhow. So I have picked out from this, I'll probably use some of these trims and gewgaws here. I've got this that I picked out, but this is probably going to be for another project. So it gets set to the side. This is what I want to put on my cover. And I'm not going to be able to get it on the back cover as well. So, and you know, usually your back cover is always scuffed up and things like that. So we may just put something on the back there. Maybe even this. This is big enough. This just had some of the postcard and things like that on it. But it could get scuffed up and nobody would really know. Plus, the same thing is basically here. Look at that. I didn't even think about that. So, perfect. Perfect. Okay, let's get these to the side. Get to our project, which isn't going to take much. But I thought it was something that in case you wanted to do a book like this and decorate it up for your own planner. I mean, I'm going to have to do something on the inside in here. I don't need that, but I would like to have pockets possibly. And I had cut these out of another one I had. And you know, I might just be able to put those in here for my pockets. One is one way and one's the other, but oh well. They're prepped and ready to go. Okay, and what I thought I would do, so I could get the full benefit of this glitter edge, is I would do it like the full page here. Then I'd come back around with just my trim in some way on the other two corners. So I could maybe get it all. I'd love to get that little blue butterfly up there, especially. Yeah, so maybe we could go this way and cut it and then come back. Okay, yeah. All right, let's see if we can flip this like a pancake and measure it. And I would like to thank you for coming to visit and see what I got up to today. I know this is probably not going to be a very long video. I say that and then it usually is, but anyhow, I may be showing you that little woven pocket. I mentioned them the other day in the last part of my mom's journal that I showed you. I called them a braided pocket. They were not a braided pocket. They're a woven pocket. Oh, but Gail Augustinelli had done those way back when for some of her journals, and I thought they were just so original and neat. Now, I made my own type of woven pockets at another time and posted it in a video. And they were quite different. I need to do a revision video on all the different pocket styles. That may be something you might be interested in because, you know, instead of going through every video, and I could post a couple of the better ones, you know, some of the better ones. All right, well, I don't want to cover up the black. I want to just leave the black. Now, I can always paint the black, tell you the truth. What if we did that? Because it is quite out there, you know. So let's do that. Let me put this down here. Well, that's kind of my sticky pad. Let's see. Okay, I found this forest moss, which looks like it'll go with the greens in this very well. See how the tones really match? I think that'll work nicely. This was a little sticker sheet I just got done using for some little paper bag journals. I'll be showing those at the end of the video here. I'm wanting to make sure, oh, I think I got an inside thing in there too. You always want to shake these up to where the ball rattles freely. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me get this thrown over here in the trash can before it hits anything else. And let's squirt a little bit of this out and see what we got. Okay, I don't know how much I'm going to need. I'll probably have to come back to that. But let me get my brush in here. I'm not even going to worry about water. It's sort of going to be a dry brush technique. Oh, yeah. And I don't have to worry about where it goes. Like if I go over this, who cares? It's a permanent paint, but it doesn't look like it's exactly soaking in. I should have probably gessoed it first. But we'll hit it with the heat gun and come back over it if need be. I didn't think this was going to be exactly a, what do you call it? A mixed media situation, but it may be after all. All right, let's hit it with the heat gun and see what we got here, because it doesn't look like it's cooperating too well. Okay. Okay, much better. I hit it with the heat gun, dried it. It's given it a bit of a base now for the paint to soak into. So I'm going to get my complete color to go down. If I didn't, that was okay. It was getting rid of that black, and that's mostly what I wanted to do. Just kind of cheer it up a bit. I didn't want it to be black and somber. Oh, goodness. And this little piece of paper here I got underneath of it. I don't care how much paint or whatever goes on it. I'm going to stick it in a journal here soon. And it's going to have all kinds of colors on it, which is fine with me. All right, let's go that way. And I'm going to hit it with some more heat, and then we're going to flip it. Okay, I have that done, and see how nice that green matches. Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, so now I've figured out where to start. And I'm going to like bubble cut all the way around the outside edge here to get my piece to go on this edge. And it's not going to be too fancy. Just, like I said, a bubble cut. Oh. My shout out today is to Andrea B. She ends up being a cousin of my husband. How would you even know? I mean, I think I sent her some happy mail one time, and I needed her address, and she gave me her last name. Same name that we have. I thought that was the coolest thing. Yeah, my husband's family is from Rockbridge County, which is named after the big natural bridge that's up there. So, you find cousins everywhere you go. I'm kin to half of Wayne County and half of Mingo County, and maybe some of Martin County, Kentucky, when I go over to West Virginia. Because those old dudes were pretty prosperous. Let me tell you. They had kids on kids on kids. And that was for the farms and such, to keep the farms going, to feed. You know, it was a evil circle, because it was like to feed all those kids. Yet, if they didn't have all those kids, oh my goodness. And did you know that see, I gotta figure this out here. Maybe I'll just come down this way. That if a woman, I don't want to be indelicate here, but if a woman was breastfeeding, then more likely than not, she would not get pregnant for another year or so. As long as she's breastfeeding, I think it's something to do with how the body is naturally looking out for the baby that is there, and it suppresses that or something, so that baby can get all the nutrients it needs. So that's why when you look at the census, you'll see a lot of times that she didn't have a child but every 2 years. I always wondered about that. Like, how did they plan that? But that's what it is. She's breastfeeding, and that's keeping her from having another one. But then sometimes that didn't always work. So I guess it just depended. But I thought that was so kind of different. Nature taking care of its own. I'm just cutting out a few of these little notchy things here just for the heck of it, because I don't know if I'm covering up anything I want to keep. Alright, so I think that's good. That's good. So that's how it's going to look. I do need to glue this one down first to see if it's going to need to be trimmed off, which I do believe it is. Then I can ink it. Well, no, I don't need to ink it if I'm going to put this all... Well, I can ink it in spots. Make up your mind, Rhoda. Alright, so I am going to use fabric tack. I figure that might be the better way to go. I almost want to use my little Tombow, but I want to make sure I got a good glue on here. A good sticky surface. Yeah, I was telling my cousin that I have another story to kind of tell in the family. But it may be a couple actually. But the one is my uncle, who was a couple years older than my dad. My dad's the youngest. So I think Uncle Harrison was about 5 years older than him. So my grandmother, you know, she was widowed really early in life. My dad was only one year and 1 day when his dad died. So he never even got to know his dad. Oh, gosh. So anyhow, she was always trying to find a way to live, you know. It was pretty hard for a single mother, and so she would find ways and means. She would sew them quilts to hunker under at night to try to keep them warm. She would, like at one place they lived, she dressed a chicken. Now he was still alive at this point, her husband, Grandpa. But this was some of the ways that they would get their staples. And she would dress up a chicken and take down to the local store and be able to trade it for some of the staples like flour, maybe sugar, mostly cornmeal. You know, cornbread was more likely what they would use, and instead of flour. So that was always the one way to go about it. Brown beans and cornbread was like the Markham staple. And I must not have enough Markham in me, because I can't stand that dish. Just can't stand it. Oh my gosh. But anyhow, one place after he had passed, and they'd moved down closer here to Stanton, where I live, Uncle Harrison, one of his brother's wives, got him a little bike with a basket on the front. And this was sort of out in the country, but it was, you know, a couple of those little mom and pop stores I mentioned around the neighborhood. So he would ride his little bike down to the store. Now, this is when they lived at the Spittler place, Phyllis. I don't know if you remember that. I think that was about when your mom and Uncle Harold got together, because he took her out there to introduce her to the family. Yeah. So anyhow, little Uncle Harrison on his bike, riding to go get staples. It was kind of cute. Oh. And then at another place they lived, they lived in town. This time they had credit. Everything was on credit at the store. And more than likely, you know, she's not making any money, but, you know, some of her children were actually paying it off. They would almost have to. Now, she had a sewing machine, and she'd be making everybody's clothes. I'm pretty sure everybody's got a grandmother that more than likely made their clothes. And that was the only way she could cover everybody with something, clothing, coats, whatever, quilts. So one time I think they were about broke, and they were getting ready to bring take the sewing machine away from her because it was on credit, you know, and still being paid for. And they were coming to get it, and my aunt, who was a young girl then, but she was older than Dad and Uncle Harrison and all, she wrote this letter to all her sisters and brothers up in Baltimore, Maryland, making money right and left, that they better come and pay that bill off. Boy, did they do it. She must put the fire under them, because they came and paid that bill off. But I've got several photos of Dad in like a little coat that Grandma made him, and always made his school clothing. Yeah, that, you know, this is one well-rounded lady. I mean, she knew plants and stuff out in the yard that you could eat and make salads or whatever out of that, you know, nowadays, you know, nobody really knows about that type of stuff. Gosh, I trimmed that a little too close or something. What happened there? Let's just trim it down some more. So it's always interesting. If you've got some people to still ask all these questions. And sometimes you'll talk about something. Oh, I'm still able to push that over. It wasn't toward the edge. Sometimes you're able to just start something. One time I called Dad to ask him one little thing, and boy, did he start going to town talking about all this and that. It was amazing, all the things he told me. So you never know when they're going to like be able to just remember and pop out with something. And yeah, he was telling me about when Grandma had the farm over here in Swope. It was the only place they'd ever owned over here. But she had cows, and she would have the cows bred so they'd have a calf, which also created milk for them. So they had this number that they were, and they would have this, one of those milk, gosh, what do you call those? This big milk urn kind of a thing. They'd milk the cows, and they'd put all the milk out by the road, and they had this little metal disc that had their number on it, and they would get credit every time the guy come by and picked up all the milk. So there you go. She got a check at the end of the month, I believe. So she got paid for that, and she raised turkeys. I mean, this woman was unbelievable. All the things she did for her family. And it's just amazing. All right, I'm measuring for this back one here. Probably going to have to cut it down, because that wasn't that great. Look at that. Boom. Oh, so anyhow. Yeah. All kinds of great history that you can find out. And you just never know unless you ask. Get them started on it. I've been working on a family history anyhow. And it's got all kinds of things about, let's see, that's the right side of it. It's got all these things about the people I've talked to, and the information I got from them. Actually, that is a little small on that top side, but I think we're okay. Oh, we're okay. This is for me, remember? And yeah, it's always worth investing in your history. But don't always trust everything Ancestry has. Some people just They just take in anything and everything into their tree and don't do the backup researching. It's a lot of tricky stuff out there to have to go through. Some people have the same exact names, and you have to do a lot of things by process of elimination. Okay, let's see what I can do here. There, like I say, see, I got a little bit up there at the top. I think it's going to be on the back, so I don't think it's going to be that worrisome. There we go. I love this bone folder. Alright, let me get this one here, and then we got to figure out what else we want to do. And let me see if I need to trim that down any. I do, just a tad. I still need to get something on these inside pages. I don't know how I cut that so wrong. Oh. But we need to do some decorating. Ooh, it's hard to hold this thing. Okay. I get around this corner and I'm good to go. Okay, there we go. I do know that I had those two things to do a pocket on the inside piece. I don't think I need that anymore. Let's throw that down there. I may still be doing something here on the front. I'm trying to think what that would be. I have that artist journal stamp that I think may go good on here. And then I do have a stamp for a postcard, which would go along with some of this other items that's on here. Yeah, let's see what we can do on the inside in here. Pull that open. Okay, I had these two things. One has index, and it's just about that wide. And I'm going to make two pockets, so I'm going to go ahead and get a... I made sure I cut these down to the right size already. And we're going to cut us a thumb hole. I think that's middle. And I think we need another little piece in here. I don't think this was wide, or these two together were tall enough. Yeah, I still need a little bit of a piece inside. So we're going to maybe take this little butterfly. He's pretty. We'll cut across here. And he'll be like an inside trim or something in between the two. I hope all of you out there is doing good today. I hope all the sickness has been put to the wayside and everybody's feeling good for spring. It's coming. It's a-coming. I had the door open for the kitties here not long ago. Man, it was nice out there. Now, I think what I'm going to do is go around the outside edge here with a little bit of ink. See, this is sort of what I wanted to do, but I don't want to hide my little butterflies. Maybe we'll put the butterflies at the top. How about that? Yeah. I think it'll be much better. I know some of y'all were shouting that, weren't you? Put it at the top, girl. Put it at the top. All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right. We're just going to slap a little bit of ink on here. And get this part done. And then I can go ahead and finish my cover. I don't think I'm going to see that part, so all I got to do is over here. Yeah. All right. Oh, I did need to do a little bit on the outside edge. Just so it's not all white. Yeah. There we go. Now we're going to take this one and glue with my Barely Art glue. I do have a corner down here that I'll have to skip that corner and trim it. There, I'll just kind of lightly put the glue on it there. Now, if you'd rather, you could use score tape or some kind of other thing to put this down with. Okay, right there. Whoops, I was supposed to put the other one on first. Let's get the ink on it, the glue on it quick and get it under there. I'm in a hurry, so I'm shaking. Okay. Alright, let's lift this up real quick. Quick. There, we made it. We made it. I just gotta go under there far enough so it's... There we go. Stuck. There. The only problem is, now the butterflies are... Let me leave this up just a little bit for me to tuck my butterflies under there. And what do I need here? About right to the middle of this butterfly. Sorry, dude. Okay. A little bit more. His whole body's gone now. How sad. Boy, did I do some cooking yesterday. Oh. We were out of everything. Everything. I had to go to the store. I got a chuck roast the day before and made a pot roast in the crock pot with onions and potatoes and some let me get this straight, and some carrots. I got a little bit of a white got a little bit of a white edge down in there, but that's okay. So I got that on. I had to cook for about 5 hours. Then I got to cooking some chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. And I had put a little aside to take down to my mom and dad here today. And he comes home, he hits that one container, and boom, it's gone. So I guess I have to dig some more out for him. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So we got that part done. Now we have to find our stamp and see what we want to stamp on the outside. Now these may be a little tight, but actually they're looser than they look. You know, because whoops. Let me put it. Yeah, these are going to be high pressure points areas, and because I went and pulled that up, I need to make sure that glues really well in here. But you can always slap some more glue on it. Won't hurt anything. Alright, let me get my stamp. Okay, the Artist Journal is coming out of the Classics #1. I loved it because of this guy. But I've used the compass before, and the Artist Journal is what we're wanting right now. So we'll peel that off and put it on one of these to use. And we're going to get our VersaFine Pigment Ink Onyx Black, and we're going to put that on here. Let me get this kind of out of the way because I don't want to get it everywhere. Ooh, get it on your fingers, your eyeballs, your toes, goes everywhere. Alright, I'm going to just put it flat on here. Just kind of rock it just a tad. There we go. You don't want to push too hard as well, because that might also blur it, which I have done before. You just have to find the right groove, the right dance steps to make this work. Okay, so it's got artist journal on there. We have that finished, and one of the, where did I have that on there? Okay, and one of the new ones I just got, which is typography. I like this hand. I'm going to put that on here too, because I'm going to be writing in here. So I thought, ooh, that'll work out good. So let's try that. And I'm sure you've seen this kind of little thing elsewhere on other people's videos, but you can put your cap upside down like that, and then put your pad over top of it if you're going to be doing another stamping, you know, so you don't have to go in and out all the time. Yeah, I think I'll put that right here. Especially since you've got postcard on here and stamps and that type of thing. I thought it would go really well. Oh, and I messed up right there, but oh well. I pushed it a little too hard. See, it happens to the best of us. I just put too much on there. I don't really think you notice it as much, to tell you the truth. I might have something I can cover that up with. Alright, now we have this thing about writing stuff. I don't think I have enough room for that. I like the stars though. Let's see about the stars. If I can use this to do those. Maybe underneath of the word artist journal. Yep, right here. Yep. And I'm going to see if I can hide that. Here, I need to go on this side. See if I can hide that a little bit with that. I can't make it worse or better. I can't tell. Oh, goodness. All right. You never know. I also have this swiggle I kind of like. Yep, we're going to go with the swiggle as well. No, under here. I almost went to the wrong place. Okay. There. And we're going to stamp this off. Okay. I declare I'm going to have to find something I can fix that little faux pas with. Okay, I got me some of my antique linen, which I thought was really, really close to this, and put it on my little sheet over here. And I'm thinking it's covering it up. I just have a few little black tips that are still shining through. But I think that'll do the job for me. Okay, I don't think my fix is working so well. So, when all else fails, glue on a butterfly. I have butterflies on here. I'm thinking of putting him some which way. Maybe kind of like that. And he's flying back down to his buddy. Yeah, I was thinking I could always put on a second coating of that, but it was not quite the color of the background. So, okay. So that's easily fixed. I really like my little cover. I think it's all it needs. It needs some, blank spots to pull your eye to the other area. That green really sets that off. I have that on the back, which I still need to ink around the outside edge, but I'll do that off screen. We have this in here, and I was thinking I needed a few little things to decorate that up with. And I did these the other day. Where did I put my... Okay, here we go. I bought these at Walmart, and I thought they were like paper, and where you could use them on your, their labels you could use on your, as address labels or whatever. I've been seeing people do a lot of stamping on labels, and I wanted to try that. Well, these are, I didn't read it. They're glossy clear film, so they're just clear. And so anyhow, this is what I ended up with. I thought, well, they're clear and they're, they're shiny, and regular ink is not going to stick to them. So I had to use my StazOn, and the only color I have is jet black right now. I need to get some other colors. But this is what I did. I took a bunch of different little stamps. This one is all of that one with newspaper and the flower. I love it. And I had butterflies as well. So I tried getting them on that little piece that's going to be the pull-off section. I have these that I did from that one other stamp pack. It had a ticket and a bingo card. These came from, and that's smeared on me, but these all came from another one. This had like an interesting little man and photographs. So, I mean, I thought, well, let me try it. So I did one of these. That's that stamp, and I pulled it off. And this was a stamp off piece from when I did my sister's birthday card. I had a little squirrel sitting here, so I made it look like he's sitting on top of that ticket or whatever that is, postage stamp. And, they turned out, they're a little shiny if you turn them a certain way, but other than that, they turned out great. So I'm going to see about using a few of these in here, and I might just go with the flowers idea, since they're on the larger scale. But yeah, make sure you use StazOn if you use anything shiny or something of that sort. So let's see about pulling this off and sticking it down. Check it out. Okay, and you just stick it wherever. I let them dry really good. I've done these a couple days ago, so they're really well dried out. But we have a butterfly on a couple. And, oh, knocked over my glue. Sorry. Let's see. What else do I want to put on here? I like that one that says pharmacy. I wonder about using that one up here. The Heiser pharmacy on the upper one. It's just a little, oh, that one's a little off, isn't it? Crap. Let's see about the other one. Yeah, I got all of it. Okay. There we go. And so I'm going to put it right up here. Now you can cut off this excess. Like, I'm not that crazy about it, so let's cut that part off. And put it down. That right there. Yeah. I'm not sticking out, am I? Well, there. Oh, no, that's great. I like that little piece that hangs down. That's what attracted me to putting it that way. Okay. So I decorated those up without even having to do anything. But I do still need to cut around the outside of my edge here. Yeah. There we go. Now, I have to do, I'll show you the paper bag journals, and I think we're done for the day. I'm always trying to jam-pack you full of stuff, aren't I? Okay, here are the ones I did. They are florally, so they could go through spring or be for Valentine's or or whatever. But I used a lot of Dollar Tree stickers, and I love these pots. This was from one kit, and then a few of the flowers that are, I guess, what is that, peonies? No. Anemones? I think they're anemones. But I had this thing from, it's a 2-page kit from Pink Monarch Prints that has these words and the round and all these advertisements for florists, and I thought that would be perfect. I just picked out some papers from a paper pad I had. It had a lot of florals, but everything was like light and pretty and delicate looking. Some of these came out of another paper pad. They've got the what do you call it, the metallics on there. And of course, this is the tuck. These are some more from the main pad there, or sticker piece. I still got to fill my spots here. She had some of these kind of number stickers in the Pink Monarch ones too. But they just kind of dressed up your page without adding too much bulk. I had a little foam type of flower pot here, and I put a rose inside of that. And I've got a little bit of my washi in certain spots through these books. And then here's a pocket. There's a pocket in each one. This one's just a plain pocket, but the other ones I wove was just scrap pieces that I had. So you'll get to see that in this one. So here's that one. More of the flowers and the advertisements. And then each one is supposed to have one of these. I can't remember. I saw that in that one. But here's the woven pocket. So it's an extra pocket you might have besides the 3 here and the 6 that make up the bag part. And another bunch of the roses. And I just think they turned out really cute. I mean, you can still write on some of these pages because they're so light. There's the flower pot in this one. There's only 2 that's got flower pots. And then there's that. And let me move that to the side. And then these 2 were made with like a kit that was, I don't know if it was for the Valentine's or it just had love and a bunch of really bright colors to it. So I framed that word and put it here. So those colors went really well. Had like a little picture frame with a pot in front of it. These 2 aren't as decorated as the last 2, but there's my washi. And this was a picture frame with shells, seashells. I went ahead and used it. And here is the pocket with it's like a hanging window box or something. And that's that one. And then this one had like a little milk jug pitcher with flowers in it. I thought was pretty. The same kind of thing. There's Joy with a ladybug and the woven pocket. And then you have just some more of the words in it. I probably can go back in here and put the flower pot with a rose on it, and it'll jazz up a couple more of the pages. Okay, well, thank you for coming to visit. I hope you enjoyed watching me decorate up my book. I'll show you what else I get up to when I come back again. Got another little thing to cut off. All right. So everybody have a great day. Thank you, my subscribers and viewers. Come back again. Thank you. Bye.